Nick, I've always had a big interest in the pets that actors keep. Now, at one time, you had a very interesting aquarium, didn't you? No.
Yeah, well, I like ocean life, particularly like exotic ocean life, and I guess in that category would fall octopuses and sharks. I think they're beautiful, and so I had some octopuses and sharks. I don't anymore, though.
Now, I really enjoyed you in the movie Peggy Sue Got Married. But how was that experience for you? Because wasn't it true that early on that the studio wasn't quite happy with the way that you were portraying the character?
Yeah, well, I really can't blame them because I really did go out of my way to basically hijack that movie. And I just felt I had to do it. Wanted to have the, big crazy teeth,
Talking that, crazy pokey voice from the Gumby show,
and just do this wild character. And of course, Kathleen Turner was there rolling her eyes thinking, this is supposed to be my leading man. I just thought it was funny. It was public disruption. Was into it.
So what happened exactly? That I understand the studio was going to get on a jet, some executives.
To fire me, yeah.
and
Well, Francis cooked them all a big spaghetti dinner and talked them out of it. So this is the character. Don't worry about it. It'll all be fine in the end. I really I have to thank Francis for that. He really was my champion on that one. I don't think I could ever do a character like that again in such a large mainstream movie. It was kind of a fluke that I got away with it. If he was not my uncle, I probably would have been fired.
Now, you've been in some very interesting locations. Now, how does Las Vegas rate on the location uniqueness scale?
Pretty unique. I mean, it gets increasingly unique with each day that goes by. I mean, 2 or 3 days, that's okay, but when you're here for a month, it gets pretty darn exotic. It's kind of a circus, this town, and there is no escape from it. I mean, the slot machines are going all the time.
I couldn't get over how they're just surreal things happening all the time. Did anything surreal happen to you that sticks out in your mind?
While I was here in Vegas? Vegas is surreal by nature. I think just every moment I was here was surreal. The fact that you can't open your window because people will jump out and kill themselves is kind of surreal. I mean, it's a very absurd kind of city. It's not unlike some people's idea of purgatory, probably.
At the screening, one of the Elvi from the movie was there watching it, and I spoke to him afterwards. Now, I understand that you hung out a bit with the Elvises during the filming.
No, I didn't really, but I didn't have time because I was working, but they wanted to. They would come up to me in between shots and say, oh, I really like that character in Wild at Heart, and why don't we talk about E a little bit,
Now, James Caan, he's an actor with a kind of an imposing persona, a big reputation. Now, were you just a little bit intimidated when you first met him?
No, actually, I wasn't. I understand that kind of behavior. I thought we'd get along great, actually, and we did.
Okay. Doing a story on movie actors and salaries, not the amount of money they get paid, but the most decadent thing they've ever done with their money. When the money starts rolling in and maybe you haven't seen that much money before, what would you say is the most decadent thing that you ever did with the money you've been paid for a film?
Yeah, I hesitate to answer that because our country's in a recession, and you pay $7.50 to go see a movie. You want to take your family, that's $80 a shot, and they want to go see a movie that costs $90 million, and they go see it and it sucks, and they have to explain it to their kids, and then they have to hear that the actor in the movie was paid a personalized jumbo jet to do it. That's got to be really frustrating. So I'm not going to answer that question.
You've had some very interesting roles in movies, from Wild at Heart to Raising Arizona. Now, when Firebirds came along, a lot of people thought that was kind of an interesting departure for you, and that was a more traditional type of role. Are you happy with the way that film turned out?
No, not really. I mean, it didn't come together the way I would have liked to have seen it come together, but it was a departure. It was something different, something new. People come up to me and they say they like the movie. I'm sure they wouldn't like the other movies that I've made, and it's just part of making everybody happy, I guess.
Great.
All right.
Thanks.